It's kind of like a golf game. We're going to be talking in low voices because we're out here at Eagle Creek State Park, and we're photographing eagles with the new Olympus, and we've put 300 millimeter lenses on the two Olympuses we have, and let's see how this new camera performs out on a cold, snowy morning in Indianapolis.
Come with me.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see. There's planes, trains, and automobiles mode, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, and eagles.
But when you select planes, or in here, I guess it's airplanes, it seems to track pretty well. I mean, if you're trying to track, we're tracking some cardinals over there, and it tracked them without any issue. I mean, it just locked on each of them and tracked them as they were flying. So,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're finding, you're shooting with 300 here.
Yeah.
And we had an eagle right out there.
Yeah.
I needed manual focus on him before I could track it when he took off.
Yeah.
And I didn't grab manual focus before he took off. It was too quick.
Okay. So you've only got it set for 1 point. You need to have a group set. Turn the front one. See, if you do that group right there, that should do it.
Let's see.
You can also go in and create a custom group. So I went in and created a custom group all the way across the entire frame, but kept it only 3 tall. So then it's only going to track in that area across the entire frame.
I think Olympus has done something pretty cool here, and I have to give them credit, is that, you know, they've done innovation, and that innovation is the ability to do really, really fast autofocus and specifically some really cool tracking in continuous focus. In addition, it can do multiple items or multiple objects in its tracking. The really cool thing is, and we're going to experiment more with this under more controlled conditions, is the ability to hand-hold and do a series of images that the camera stitches together and makes a very large file. What we've seen of it so far is absolutely amazing. So while this is kind of a preliminary walk through in the park, try to shoot some eagles, which are being a little stubborn today, I think one of the things is we're getting a chance to see this camera and try to wrap our heads around this camera. The price is going to be $3,000. It's expensive for an Olympus camera with a micro four thirds chip, but it serves a purpose. You know, if you're trying to capture motion, if you're into sports, you want to photograph football, and you want to do it with a compact system where a 600 millimeter equivalent lens is that big and hand holdable, plus the ability to shoot in low light with a 7-stop IBS, it's got some really cool features. And design of the camera is something that I think Olympus has always done really well, and they've listened to their customers in regards to that design. Specifically with the vertical grip built in, the buttons and the functionality in horizontal is the same when you go vertical. The Olympus is kind of showing that, you know, they're still relevant with the micro four thirds because they're still putting out one of the smallest mirrorless cameras there is, with one of the smallest set of incredible glass, allowing you to have a lot of versatility, allowing you to backpack out into the middle of nowhere with a lot lighter load than you would with many of the other APS-C and full frame cameras. So my hat's off to Olympus, but we got a ways to go to see exactly, you know, what this camera can do. We got to get it into the computer, take a look at the raw files, see what we feel about the dynamic range, as they're not talking about dynamic range, and of course how the ISO, specifically high ISO, performs. So we've got a ways to go, but what we're seeing out here, photographing eagles, pretty cool, specifically watching the tracking and how that's done.
We're just over here chatting, and all of a sudden like, hey, look. Put it right up there, and it just tracked him right through. It was awesome. Went all the way across the entire plane.
Big bird.
And it was cool. It was changing as it
white
would
box
go
was
across. It
changing
kept changing sizes with the birds.
It works. Awesome.
Got him.
Right up here?
Yeah, we're just standing there talking, and all of a sudden I look out, and I'm like, oh, cool. It was just coming right at us.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah, turned out well.
That's worth it.
But it did have some issues. But again, there's trees. I mean, it was coming out of the trees, and it was so much going on. You got the snow going on, but I got one to nail, so yeah.
But we went through the trees, and then periodically it would catch the
Yes,
form.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
And it's because he's just moving right at us.
Regular tracking won't track the form, whereas
okay.
the plane will track the form.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
Well, if he would have been going this way, it probably would have tracked him. But since he was coming at me,
yeah.
it was kind of tough. But,
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah, worked out.
Super.
Overall, it was a good time. I want to thank everybody for coming out on a cold Sunday with snow happening and being part of this. We're going to have to do it more often. And we're going to spend some more time in the future looking at this camera a little more closely, and we'll do a whole video on the whole menu side of things here. I think Olympus has done a marvelous job with the new technology and showing us that when you think you've seen it all, you still haven't seen anything. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
I've never shot an eagle before, Jody.
We got an eagle.